You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 147.3, our girls basketball week in review in Blackford, Delaware, Grant, Howard, Madison, Tipton, and northern Hamilton counties, with a full report on all the teams in those counties, our weekly honors, and our top 20 power poll.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Welcome, basketball fans, to our Boys Basketball Weekly Weekend Review, where we go over the last week of each team in Blackford, Delaware, Grant, Howard, Madison, Tipton, and northern Hamilton counties, and reveal our coach, win, performance, player, and team of the week, and our top 20 power poll. Earlier Tuesday, we released our Boys Basketball Report, a recap of the Madison County Tournament. You're probably going to want to go listen to that one. It's episode 147.4 and should be easy to find. Please forgive my tardiness and lack of interviews this week. I've been restructuring the Central Indiana Sports Report, and most of my attention has gone to that since Friday. On the Central Indiana Sports Report, as we always do, we start with the Central Indiana Conference. Oak Hill is 5-0 and still on top of the CIC. They are 16-1 overall and have won 12 games in a row. Alexandria is 18-1 and 3-0 overall. Mississinawa 6-10, 2-1. Elwood 10-5, 2-2. Frankton 7-10, 1-2. Eastbrook 5-10, 1-3. Madison Grant is 4-13 overall, 1-3 in conference. Blackford 2-17, 0-4. And we start as we always do at the top of the conference standings. Oak Hill is now 16-1 overall, 5-0 in the CIC, and as I just said, has won 12 games in a row. They defeated Lewis Cass 40-30, 40-38 at the buzzer on Tuesday on a basket by freshman Brianna Daly. Sophomore Landry Hardman had 11 points. Sophomore Morgan Cates finished with 5 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Oak Hill improved to 5-0 in the CIC with a 52-11 win over Blackford on Saturday. This week, the Golden Eagles go to 6-9 Northwestern on Wednesday and then play their penultimate CIC game on Saturday at 5-10 Eastbrook. Alexandria is 18-1 overall, 3-0 in the CIC. The Tigers did have their 21-game regular season winning streak come to an end in the Madison County Tournament, but first they won 72-38 at Anderson for a 17-0 start to the season. That was in the opening round of the Madison County Tournament. In that one, Jack Hosier had 36 points. She was 14 for 21 from the field with 10 assists, 6 rebounds, and 6 steals. You might want to look for that in our weekly honors. Alexandria was then beaten 57-45 by Pendleton Heights in the semifinals of the Madison County Tournament. Hosier had 15.7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals. The Tigers then rebounded to beat Elwood 66-27 in the consolation game. Hosier had 30 points, 12 steals, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. This week, Alexandria hosts 10-5 Elwood in a CIC contest Friday at 6. Mississinawa is 6-10 overall, 2-1 in the CIC. They are 3-3 in their last 6 games after a 3-7 start. They won 41-20 at Tipton on Tuesday behind 13 points from senior J.C. Crick and 10 points and 3 steals from junior Brooklyn Nash. Then on Saturday, the Indians were defeated 46-42 at Manchester. Mississinawa is at 8-10 Marion on Tuesday. Elwood is 10-5 overall, 2-2 in the CIC. They accomplished this week their first 10-win season in 8 years. They defeated Liberty Christian 47-22 on Monday in the opening round of the Madison County Tournament. It was their first Madison County first-round win since 2014. Sophomore Breland Norris had 18 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. And senior Kendra Salee finished with 11 points and 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. In the semifinal round, the Panthers lost to Frankton 57-19. They shot just 16% from the field in that one. Then they lost 66-27 to Alexandria in the consolation game. Norris had 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists in that one. Elwood hosts 1-11 Burris on Tuesday, then goes to 18-1 Alexandria on Saturday at 6. Frankton is 7-10 overall after reaching the Madison County Tournament Championship game last week. The Eagles are 1-2 in the CIC. Frankton reached the Madison County Championship for the first time in 10 years. They did that by defeating Anderson Prep 65-24 in the first round. They had 4 in double figures. Senior Ann Curtis finished with 15 points. Senior Emma Key had 13. Junior Macy Curtis 12. Sophomore Layla Dietzer finished with 10. Key had 12 assists and 5 steals in the win. Then Frankton defeated Elwood 57-19 in the semifinals. Very good performance from the Eagles. Then in the championship game, they lost 79-34 to Pendleton Heights. This week, Frankton hosts 2-15 Tipton on Thursday. Then they are at 4-13 Madison Grant on Saturday. Eastbrook is 5-10 overall, 1-3 in the CIC. After a 3-8 start, the Panthers have won 2 of their last 4 games. This week, they lost 52-36 at home to Wapahani. Senior Michaela Fox had 13 points, and senior Mia Bustos finished with 12 points and 12 rebounds. This week, the Panthers are at 13-4 Wabash on Wednesday and host 16-1 Oak Hill on Saturday. They lost to Oak Hill 47-21 in the Grant Ford tournament on January 4th. Blackford is 2-17 overall, 0-4 in conference. They lost 52-17 at home to Delta Tuesday and 52-11 at Oak Hill on Saturday. They host 6-10 Mississinawa Friday at 6:30. To our lone independent, Lapel is 12-6. They've won 8 of their last 9. They lost at Pendleton Heights for their second loss against the Arabians this season, 61-41 Monday. Junior Lanaya Wills, 27 of the team's 41 points with 12 rebounds and 3 steals. Lapel then defeated Anderson 53-48 at Anderson Prep in the consolation bracket. Wills had 28 points, 15 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 assists. To finish 5th place in Madison County, they beat Anderson Prep 71-9 in the final game on Saturday. Wills 29 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Might want to check out our weekly honors, which are coming up right after this segment. This week, Lapel has a big one on Tuesday when they visit 14-1 Sheridan, the 2 teams that are most likely to win the sectional this year. Then they host 10-6 Shenandoah in a tough week. That one's on Thursday. To the Hoosier Conference, we start with the East Division. Western is on top. They're 4-13 overall, 2-0 in their division. Hamilton Heights is 6-10, 1-0. Those 2 play each other Tuesday for the conference championship. Logansport is 2-15, 1-2. Tipton is 2-15, 0-2. In the West Division, Rensselaer Central is 16-1 overall, 3-0 in the conference. They look like the likely division winner and will be the representative in the Hoosier Conference Championship game. Benton Central is 13-6 overall, 2-1 in the conference. Central Catholic 13-4, 1-1. West Lafayette 5-11, 1-1. Twin Lakes 5-4, 5-14, 0-4. Western is 4-13, 2-0 in the Hoosier Conference. They just followed up a 9-game losing streak with 4 straight wins. On Saturday, they made it 4 in a row with a 56-25 win at Logansport. Again, they host 4-13 Hamilton Heights on Tuesday, then 9-6 Mechaniqua on Saturday. Hamilton Heights is 6-11 overall, 1-0 in the conference. They are 4-4 since starting the season, 0-9. They lost 43-37 to North Miami on Tuesday. They had 5 players with at least 6 points, led by sophomore Cameron Roten. Freshman Sarah Sherrill had 9, senior Katie Brown, freshman Abby Hilfiker, and sophomore Presley Cherry scored 6 points apiece. Sophomore Reese Blanton had 11 rebounds. Brown, Blanton, and Sherrill had 3 steals each. Then they lost 53-14 to Westfield on Saturday. Cherry had 8 points and 2 assists in the defeat. After going to Rushville to face Western in the big Hoosier Conference East showdown on Tuesday, the Huskies can capture the division championship by beating 2-15 Tipton on Saturday at 1:30. They would have to win both of those games to win the division. Tipton is 2-15 overall, 0-2 in the conference. They've lost 9 in a row. They lost 41-20 to Mississinawa and 52-21 at Madison Grant this week. In the loss to Mississinawa, sophomore Mackenzie Farinella had 6 points and 11 rebounds. To the Hoosier Heartland, Sheridan is 14-1 on top of the conference at 5-0. Rossville's 10-5, 5-1 in the conference. They, of course, will be hoping for a Sheridan stumble somewhere along the way. That doesn't seem likely. Clinton Central's 13-4, 2-2. Carroll 11-5, 2-2. Delphi 6-10, 2-2. Clinton Prairie is 7-10 overall, 3-3 in conference. Tri-Central 6-11, 2-3. Eastern is 1-15, 1-3, and Taylor 3-15, 0-6. Sheridan is 14-1 overall, 5-0 in the conference. They've won 12 games in a row. They won 55-45 at University on Wednesday behind 19 points and 11 rebounds and 4 assists and 3 steals from senior Kinsey Garner. Sophomore Brielle Garner added 12 points. In a 63-33 win over Tri-Central on Friday, Garner had 19 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. 6 steals and 4 assists. Senior Cecilia Timmy added 18 points, 6 steals, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. This week, Sheridan, as we mentioned earlier, has a huge one when they host 12-6 LaPel, a game between the sectional's top 2 teams. Then the Blackhawks host 5-9 Speedway on Thursday. Tri-Central 6-11 overall, 2-3 in conference. They lost 45-39 at Peru on Wednesday and 63-33 at Sheridan on Friday. The Trojans host 10-5 Rossville this Friday. Eastern is 1-15 overall, 1-3 in conference, and they are super happy to have that one win after they ended their losing streak. The streak went to 15 straight games with a 36-34 loss at Cowan on Tuesday before getting their initial win of the season, 49-31 at home against Taylor. Junior L. Winger and freshman Gianna Beachy scored 10 points each in that win. Senior Mackenzie Eagle had 8 points and 11 rebounds. This week, Eastern hosts 6-10 Delphi in a conference game on Saturday. Taylor's 3-15 overall, 0-6 in conference. They lost 49-31 at Eastern on Wednesday. Sophomore Kiera Phelps led the Titans with 9 points. Then they lost 54-31 at Rossville on Saturday. Senior Jelena Harris scored 27 of Taylor's 31 points and also had 12 rebounds and 5 steals. This week, the Titans are at 4-13 Madison Grant on Tuesday and at 13-4 Clinton Central on Friday in a very tough week. The Hoosier Heritage Conference has a new leader. The Pendleton Heights Arabians moved to the top of the standings. They are 12-6 overall, 4-1 in the conference. Shelbyville is now 9-8 overall and just took their first conference loss against Yorktown. Mount Vernon also still in the race. They're 13-4, 2-1 in the conference. Delta's 10-4, 3-2. Greenfield Central 12-5, 2-2. Yorktown's 11-5, 2-2. Man, this conference is tough. New Palace 7-7, 1-4. Newcastle 4-11, 0-4. Pendleton Heights is 12-6 overall after winning the Madison County tournament on Saturday. They've won 6 in a row and won their first county championship in 4 years. They defeated LaPel 61-41 in the first round. Sophomore Ada Hupfer had 22 points and 11 rebounds. Senior Casey Warfel, 19 points and 5 assists. Then in the big one on Thursday, Pendleton defeated Alexandria, previously unbeaten Alexandria, 57-45 in the semifinals. Warfel had 19 of her game-high 25 points in the second half as the Arabians pulled away. Hupfer had 12 points and 20 rebounds. They won the championship game on Saturday 79-34 at Frankton. Warfel had 27 points and passed Kellen Dunham as Pendleton's all-time leading scorer, boy or girl, with 1,900 points. This week, Pendleton hosts 7-7 New Pal on Friday in another conference game. Delta is 10-4 overall, 3-2 in conference. They've won 3 straight and 6 of their last 7. They won 56-14 at Blackford on Tuesday. Junior Jillian Barr, 16 points and 15 rebounds. Junior Griffin Knight added 13 points, 6 steals, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. This week, Delta faces 0-15 West Del in the opening round of the Delaware County Tournament on Tuesday. The semifinals are Thursday. The championship is Saturday. Yorktown is 11-5 overall, 2-2 in the conference after winning 5 games in a row. Last week, they beat Shelbyville 60-40 on Friday and really helped out Pendleton Heights. Junior Lily Sylvester finished with 19 points and 8 rebounds. Sophomore Alexis Field, 16 points and 5 rebounds. Freshman Riley Johnson, 13 points and 9 rebounds and 3 steals. She also had 3 block shots. And sophomore Olivia Conklin had 8 points. This week, Yorktown plays in the Delaware County Tournament. They don't play until Thursday when they host either 10-4 Delta or 0-15 Westdale, most likely Delta, in the semifinal round. The championship is Saturday at 6 at Delta. In the North Central Conference, Lafayette Jeff is on top and in control of the conference. They're 12-4 overall, 2-0 in conference. Kokomo's 13-5 overall. They lost the Jeff in conference. They're 2-1. They're going to need help from someone else to win it. Richmond is 7-9, 2-1 in conference. Marion 8-10, 2-2. Muncie Central 7-8, 1-3. And Anderson is 2-16 and 1-13. Kokomo has won 3 straight and is 6-2 in its last 8 games. They defeated Northwestern 63-37 on Wednesday. Senior Michaela Drake had 11 points. Freshman Jordan Brown and Satira Scott scored 10 points apiece. Senior Avi Pollard had 9 points on 3 of 4 3-point shooting. Junior Eliana Stewart, 8 points, 7 steals, 5 rebounds, 2 block shots. She is just a stat stuffer. And junior Amara Stroman, 8 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. On Friday, the Wildcats won 66-24 at Logansport. Drake had 19 points, Brown 15 points and 5 steals. Stewart, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, 4 assists. This week, Kokomo hosts 5-13 Harrison on Tuesday. Marion is 8-10 overall, 2-2 in conference. They lost 46-41 at Southwood Wednesday, then defeated Richmond 51-40 at home Friday to stay in the North Central Conference race. This week, Marion hosts 6-10 Mississinawa in a Grant County showdown Tuesday, then hosts 3-13 Fort Wayne South on Saturday at 1:30. Muncie Central 7-8 overall, 1-3 in conference. They've lost 3 straight and 4 of their last 5 after a 6-4 start. The Bearcats lost 59-23 to Lafayette Jeff on Friday. This week, the Bearcats are at 12-4 Monroe Central on Thursday and at 11-5 Connorsville on Saturday. Anderson is 2-16 overall, 1-3 in the North Central. They lost to Alexandria 72-38 in the first round of the Madison County Tournament, despite 13 points and 5 rebounds from senior Kennedy Brown. Then they lost 53-48 to LaPel on Thursday, and then beat Liberty Christian 50-29 in the 7th place game of the Madison County Tournament on Saturday for their 2nd win of the year. The Indians are at 12-5 Greenfield Central Tuesday and host 12-4 Lafayette Jeff Saturday in a North Central Conference game. To the Mid-Eastern Conference, Eastern Hancock remains on top and is close to clinching the conference. The title is down to Eastern Hancock and Wapahani. Both teams are 15-2, but Eastern Hancock beat Wapahani and is 7-0 in the conference. The Raiders are 6-1. Randolph Southern is 10-5, 4-2. Shenandoah 10-6, 4-2. Monroe Central 12-4, 3-2. Daleville is 10-5 overall, 4-3 in the MEAC. Union 4-9, 2-4. Blue River 3-14, 2-4. Cowan is 3-12 and 0-6. West Del is 0-15 overall, 0-8 in conference. Wapahani is 15-2 and 6-1. They've won 11 of their last 12 games. They defeated Eastbrook Tuesday behind junior Emily Luce's huge night, 18 points, 8 assists, 5 steals. Senior Judy Dargo added 12 points. Senior Bailey Carpenter had 11. Senior Kimber Abshire had 4 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 block shots. The Raiders also defeated Newcastle 48-33 last week. This week on Thursday at 7:30, they will play either 10-5 Daleville or 3-12 Cowan, most likely Daleville, in the Delaware County Tournament semifinals. The championship is at 6 o'clock Saturday at Delta. Daleville has won 4 straight and 7 of its last 8. They won 46-40 at Southern Wells on Tuesday. Junior Addison Gothrop had 15 points. Senior Trishelle Johnson and sophomores Olivia Pratcher and Madeline Campbell scored 9 points apiece. Johnson had 13 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. Campbell added 10 rebounds and 3 steals. Then the Broncos defeated Cowan 58-21 on Friday. Gothrop had 24 points and 5 rebounds. Pratcher, 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. This week, Daleville hosts 3-12 Cowan on Tuesday in the opening round of the Delaware County Tournament, with the semifinal Thursday and the championship on Saturday. Cowan is 3-12 overall, 0-6 in conference. They defeated Eastern 36-34 on Tuesday for their 3rd win of the year. They were led by senior Elizabeth Sideslove, who had 15 points on 5 3-pointers. Sophomore Savannah Hall had 10 points and 15 rebounds, 7 on the offensive end, plus 4 steals and 3 assists. Cowan lost 58-21 to Daleville on Friday. Sizemore led the team with 9 points. Hall had 2 points and 10 rebounds. This week, Cowan faces 10-5 Daleville Tuesday in the first round of the Delaware County Tournament. And West Dell is 0-15 overall. They lost 46-25 at Indiana Def on Tuesday. Sophomore Caroline Coward had 14 points. This week, the Warriors face 10-4 Delta in the first round of the Delaware County Tournament on Tuesday. In the Pioneer Conference, we start in the North Division, where University is on top. They are 7-10 overall, 2-0 in the conference. Anderson Prep is 10-6, 2-1 in conference. Liberty's 1-5, 0-1. Burris 1-11, 0-2. In the South, Shortridge is on top. They're 10-5, 3-0 in conference. Park Tudor's 9-7, 2-1. Greenwood Christian 3-14, 1-2. Bethesda Christian is 0-5 overall, 0-3 in conference. Anderson Prep is 10-6 and 2-1 in the conference. During the Madison County Tournament, they reached their 3rd straight double-digit win season. They lost 65-24 at Frankton in the opening round, then defeated Liberty Christian 46-41 in overtime on Thursday for their 10th win. They closed the tournament with a 71-9 loss to LaPel on Saturday. This week, the Jets are at 6-10 Centerville on Tuesday. Then they are at 9-7 Park Tudor for 3rd place in the Pioneer Conference playoffs. Liberty Christian is 1-5 overall and has lost 5 in a row. They lost 47-22 to Elwood. Freshman Serenity Conyers and sophomore Heaven Watson scored 8 points each, and freshman Dariana Majors had 11 rebounds in the loss. Then they lost to Anderson Prep 46-41 in overtime. Freshman Kimora Hawkins had 14 points and 8 rebounds. Conyers 12 points and 9 steals. Watson 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 steals. Then they lost 50-29 to Anderson in the 7th place game on Saturday. This week, Liberty Christian hosts 2-15 Southwestern Tuesday at 6. Then they face 0-5 Bethesda Christian for 7th place in the Pioneer. Burris is 1-11. They haven't played a game in a month. This week, they finally get back going. Their first game in a month is at 10-5 Elwood on Tuesday. Then they're at 3-14 Greenwood Christian in the 5th place game in the Pioneer Conference playoffs on Friday. In the Three Rivers Conference, Whitco is in charge. They're 11-3 overall, 6-0 in the Three Rivers. Wabash is 13-4, 5-1, and needs some help to win its conference. Rochester's 12-5, 4-2 in conference. Lewis Cass 13-4, 3-2. Mechanicawa 9-6, 3-2. Northfield 9-7, 3-2. Northwestern 6-9, 1-4. Peru is 8-9 overall, 1-5 in conference. Manchester 7-10, 1-5. Southwood 5-11, 0-4. Northwestern is 6-9 overall after a 63-37 loss at Kokomo on Wednesday. The Tigers host 16-1 Oak Hill on Wednesday, then host 9-7 Northfield in a conference game Saturday at 5. Before we get to our weekly honors, please go right now if you enjoy what you're hearing and like, subscribe, or follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, or Amazon, and now at YouTube. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. Please do it so you don't miss a single segment. The Central Indiana Sports Report Performance of the Week goes to Alexandria senior Jack Hosier, who had 36 points on 14 of 21 shooting, with 10 assists, 6 rebounds, and 6 steals, and the Tigers' 72-38 win at Anderson on Tuesday in the opening round of the Madison County Tournament. The win of the week goes, of course, to the Eastern Comets, who got their first win of the year, 49-31 at home against Taylor. That ended a 16-game regular season losing streak. The Central Indiana Sports Report Coach of the Week is Western head coach Sean Russell, who has his Panthers on a 4-game winning streak after a 56-24 win over Logansport this week. Western will play Hamilton Heights on Tuesday for a shot at winning their Hoosier Conference division. Western is now 6-11 in Russell's first year as head coach. The Central Indiana Sports Report Player of the Week is lapel junior Lanaya Wills. She had games of 27, 28, and 29 points and 15, 12, and 12 rebounds in the Madison County Tournament. She shot 61% from the field, 34 for 56, with 84 points, 39 rebounds, 5 assists, and 8 steals as the Bulldogs went 2-1 in the tournament. And the Central Indiana Sports Report Team of the Week is the Pendleton Heights Arabians, who won their first Madison County Tournament championship in 3 years by beating Lapel, previously unbeaten Alexandria, and Frankton. They're now 12-6 on the year with 6 consecutive victories. Also, because of Shelbyville's 60-40 loss to Yorktown, the Arabians are now on top of the Hoosier Heritage Conference standings at 4-1, a half game ahead of Shelbyville and Mount Vernon. Before we get to our top 20 power poll, this podcast is growing super fast, but it could grow even faster if you would tell a friend about the Central Indiana Sports Report. I know you know someone who would like this podcast. Please tell them now. We would be very grateful. Now to our top 20 power poll. Anderson is back in the poll after picking up their second win of the season. But what really got him into the top 20 was a 4-point loss to Lapel. Northwestern moves from number 20 to number 19. They've won 3 of their last 4. Mississinawa moves from 17 to 18. The Indians are 3-3 in their last 6 games. Hamilton Heights is 17. Muncie Central is 16. They're down from 11 to 16 after losing their last 3 games. Eastbrook moved down 2 spots from 13 to 15, mostly because of the success of other teams, nothing they did themselves. Western has moved up from number 18 to 14. They've won 4 straight since starting the season 2-11. Daleville is number 13, up 2 spots. They've won 4 straight and 7 of their last 8. Daleville has won 4 in a row and 7 of its last 8 and moves from 15 to 13. Elwood is also up 2 spots after reaching 10 wins for the first time in almost a decade. The Panthers are number 12. Frankton is number 11. They moved up a spot after making the Madison County Tournament Championship for the first time in a decade. Marion is number 10. They are 8-10. They have 8 wins this season after 3 a year ago. Delta is number 9, the same as last week, despite winning 6 of their last 7. Yorktown stays in the same spot despite winning 8 in a row. That should tell you about our top 7. Wapahani is 15-2 and remains at number 7. They've won 11 of their last 12 games. Lapel is number 6 after winning 8 of their last 9. Kokomo is number 5. They've won 3 in a row and 6 of their last 8. Sheridan is number 4. They're 14-1 and won 12 in a row. Oak Hill stays at number 3. They're 16-1 and won 12 in a row. Alexandria is 18-1. They took their first loss of the season to Pendleton Heights in the Madison County Tournament, but rebounded to beat Elwood 66-27. And number 1 for the first time this season, the Pendleton Heights Arabians. They won the Madison County Tournament and beat previously unbeaten Alexandria to win the tournament. Thank you for listening. We always appreciate it. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.